In this video, we're going to have a look at how to name the class of compounds known as the esters. What is an ester? Well, an ester contains the ester functional group, and what makes naming these slightly more complicated is that there's two parts to the name, each with their own suffix. So the first part of the name is going to end with "-ile", the second part of the name is going to end with "-anoate". And before we look at some examples, what we want to do is first of all know how esters are made, because that's going to help us name them. So let's first of all take an example of how to make an ester. The first thing we're always going to need is a carboxylic acid, and in this case this has two carbons, so the name specifically would be ethanoic acid. We need to react that carboxylic acid with an alcohol, and in this particular alcohol I've got one carbon, so that is going to be methanol. So when we react those together, what we find is that the carbon with the double bond to the oxygen is going to form a bond with the oxygen on the alcohol, which is going to give us a product, or an ester, that looks something like this. What else have we lost there? Well, the OH and the H are lost to form a molecule of water, so we can add that in as well. And then we need to think about how to name our ester. So specifically, what makes this an ester? Well, the ester functional group is that carbon double bonded to an oxygen and also single bonded to another oxygen, which joins the second part of my molecule. So to name this specific example, well, this is called methyl ethanoate. And where's that name come from? Well, you'll notice that the green bit that initially came from methanol is the start point of my name. It's got one carbon, so we start with methyl. The second part of the name comes from the carboxylic acid, which was ethanoic acid, so the end part of the name is ethanoate. This is a little bit confusing because normally we draw our esters as I have done in this example, so we're actually kind of naming the bits back to front. The bit at the end is the first part of the name and vice versa. So let's see if we can apply that to some more examples. In this case, what we should also include is our little table of stem names that indicate how many carbons are in each bit. So first example, here we go. First of all, let's identify which bit of that molecule has come from the alcohol. Well, I'm looking for the part that's just got a single bond to the oxygen, which is the bit on the right. And because that's got three carbons in it, the stem part of that name will be prop. So my name is going to begin with propyl. Which bit has come from the carboxylic acid? Well, it must be the other side of my molecule, in which case there's only one carbon there. So the second part of my name must relate to the stem name meth. So I'm going to write that and anoate. So that example is propyl methanoate. Let's take a second example. Okay, again, let's first of all find the bit that's come from my alcohol. Well, the single bond to the oxygen is on the right side of the molecule again. It's got just one carbon in this case, so the stem part is going to be meth. So we've got methyl, it's the beginning of my name. Which bit has come from my carboxylic acid? Well, it must be the bit with the double bond, and that contains three carbons. So the second part of my name will have prop, and the suffix there, that's not how you spell it, propanoate. So that is methyl propanoate. Example number 3. Here we go. This is a bit of a kind of tricky one because I've drawn it the other way around. So again, I'm going to find the bit that's come from my alcohol. So where's the single bond to an oxygen? It's on the left side of my molecule this time. It's got just one carbon in it. So my name is going to begin with methyl. Where's the bit from my carboxylic acid? Well, it must be the other side of the molecule, which has three carbons. So the second bit of my name is going to be propanoate. And you'll notice that name is exactly the same as the second example we covered. It's just flipped that molecule back to front. Example number 4. What have we got this time? Again, let's find the alcohol bit. It's the bit on the right of the molecule. It's got two carbons, so the stem name is going to be F, and that's going to end with "-ile". Which bit has come from my carboxylic acid? Well, it's the other side of the molecule. It's got three carbons. Three carbons is prop, so that's going to be ethyl propanoate. And final example, can't get really any more complicated, it's just identifying which end is which. In this case, my alcohol bit is on the left, it's got 1 carbon, so I'm going to start my name with methyl. And where's the other bit? Well, it's come from that double bond side, it's just got 1 carbon there, so this example will be methyl methanoate. And that's pretty much it for esters. There's a little additional layer of understanding required to name them confidently. Hopefully this video is of some help.